what's it called? Something. You're knocking stuff over. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my tent. My name is Christy, spelled with an E, and Lucky is right here on cue. He cannot be left out. So, where shall we begin? Well, as the White Rabbit said to the King of Hearts, start at the beginning. And then when you get to the end, stop. So I'm going to start at the beginning. I'm going to start at when I noticed my health declining or getting sicker, shall we say. When I had my heart attack, I was 38 years old. And I was also told at that time that I was diabetic. And the doctors never once said, stop eating sugar, don't eat carbs, or try a low carb diet. None of that was suggested. It was never brought up in the beginning. It was not brought up until, years later. Lucky, come here. You're a turd. Stop doing it. Pardon me. Or pardon him, anyways. It wasn't me, it was him. He's the one that's always getting in trouble doing stuff. But none of the doctors that I saw in the beginning ever said anything about diet. It was always, well, let's try this medication. Let's try that medication. And I did try to eat healthy. I had whole wheat sandwiches. I made myself salad bowls that I took to work with quinoa and chickpeas and all of this healthy stuff that I thought that was good for me. Nothing helped. Nothing worked. My blood sugar numbers stayed elevated even on the medications. And I was on metformin for a while, and then that wasn't working well enough, so they switched me to insulin, where I was taking insulin shots. Started once a day, and then it was twice a day. I was taking 40 units twice a day, giving myself those shots. And I hated it. Absolutely hated it. It was awful. I always had to think about it. And I was sick and tired of poking myself constantly. And I woke up one morning. I was done with the whole thing. I said, you know what? Let me see if I can lower my blood sugar by just cutting out sugar and going as low carb as I possibly can. I really didn't know much about the keto diet yet. I was just tired of not being healthy. I mean, I could see my health declining. I couldn't walk up. We had an apartment in West Virginia on the 3rd floor, and to walk up these steps, I mean, these were not normal steps. These were mountain steps. They were trying to make a shorter stairwell because there's not a whole lot of room, when you're building, in valleys, and you want to put a whole town in a valley. So these stairwells, the stairs were very, very steep. And walking up 3 flights of steps, I would be so out of breath. And, I was just tired of it all. When I was a kid, I was always running around in the woods, climbing trees, doing this, doing that. And I wasn't doing that anymore. And it was kind of sad. So I quit. Just like cold turkey, no more sugar, and as very low carb as I could possibly go. I ate a lot of cheese and pepperoni and strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries, because those are the lowest in, sugars and carbs. That on the fruit side, that's a lot. I made out a list of everything that was, low carb that I could eat. And I went by a number system, and I tried to keep my grams under, 20 for the day, under 10 if I could. So I'd look at a food, or a condiment even, and go, okay, well, this one's a 2. I really don't want to eat that. And so that's how I started. So I started at 200 pounds, and within a year and a half, I believe, I was down to 136 pounds. Now, I did not see changes right away. It took me a long time to see any visible changes. I mean, they were so minute and incremental that I couldn't notice. Other people would be like, "Oh, dang, girl, you lose any more weight, you're gonna blow away." And I'd be like, "I'm exactly like I was before," which, I mean, I was the exact same person. I had shrunk, I just couldn't see it yet. It wasn't until after I got, closer to my goal weight that I actually saw, the, visible changes in myself. And, some of the things that come with losing a significant amount of weight is loose skin. And that is what I'm going to put this on, my cute little bikini. I will show you guys. You can see it's brand new, still has a tag on it. But I will show you a little bit of the loose skin that I'm still working on. I know that it's going to take a while to get that skin to go back to being where it should be. I know that takes time, but I know it can be achieved. So I am working towards that. Some of the benefits that I have noticed health-wise since I have changed my diet, and especially since I changed from keto over to carnivore, which was almost 4 months ago now that I started carnivore, and I absolutely love it. But some of the health benefits that I have noticed is, well, first of all, and the biggest one is I reversed my diabetes. My blood sugar is no longer above even 150. My blood sugar before, even, when I was on insulin and everything, before I started keto, my blood sugar would stay constantly between 300 and 500. To now where my blood sugar stays, between 115 and 130, that's a ginormous change. And even when I was keto, my blood sugar was between 130 and 150. I mean, that was a significant drop from 300 to 500, which is absolutely amazing. I had high blood pressure. And that has been significantly reduced, which, hey, that's much better, I had knee problems before. I would call it blowing up. My knees I had an injury when I was ice skating. I get all this fluid on my knees. I couldn't bend them easily. Walking was painful. And this would happen, maybe 3 times a year. And it would kind of jump back and forth between knees. Like one time it would be this knee. The next time it might be the other knee. It would, go back and forth. There's not one that I can say was really worse than the other. They both did it. And I mean, it would swell up huge. I would have these huge knees. And after I started keto, it happened one time. I think I was maybe 2 months into keto when I had a flare up, and it didn't last as long and it wasn't as bad. And since then, and it's been 2 years at least since then, and I've had no other issues. My knees are fine. I can do a lot more with my knees. I'm more flexible. So that's totally a win for me. And, I talked about the stairs in West Virginia. After I started keto, I could run up the stairs to Pop's. He lives on the side of a mountain, and he has a big stone staircase up to his house. If I can find a picture, I'll put it in so you can see it. But it's a good hike to get up to his front door. And before, I mean, I could do it, but it was laborious. I could run up, I mean, I still can. I can run up those steps, run up and down, run up and down. And it doesn't bother me because I'm always roaming the mountains, taking pictures of this or that and the other thing. Go see Pops and I'm off wandering somewhere, taking pictures of trees and bugs and little tiny flowers and collecting rocks. And there was one time, the hubby and I were helping his mom move, and we were loading things up into the trucks and vehicles and things. And he was carrying something large. I believe it was her TV. And I was going to run out and open the door for him on the vehicle. So, but I also wanted to carry a table. So I had this end table that I was holding up like this, and I ran past him. I did that, that slow run and looked back and was like, ha ha ha, look at me. I run faster than you and I'm carrying a table because I could. And I was like, man, I haven't run in a while. And it was exhilarating. And that was awesome to be able to do that again. Another thing is that I have noticed, and this may be a little TMI, if you're a dude, you might want to tune out for a minute. But for my ladies out there, I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, and my periods were always irregular. I'd have maybe 3 a year. They were very very, very bad. They got a little more regular as I got a little bit older and started doing a little bit more of eating what I thought was healthy, which helped in some ways. They were slightly more regular, but they were still odd. And since starting the keto and dropping all of the sugar and the grains and all of the bad stuff, the carbs and the sugar from my diet, after eliminating all of that, my periods became much more regular to where, I could predict their arrival a lot better than I used to, to put it nicely. And also, I have noticed that, especially since going carnivore, that I have a lot less pain, cramps, because before it would not be uncommon for me to spend the first 2 days curled up in a ball in either the bed or on the couch, just because I didn't want to move, because it was just that painful. And I don't really do that anymore because I don't have as much pain associated with that. So, that's a big win in my book. Other things that I've noticed that have changed is my skin has gotten a lot clearer. I don't have the horrible bags under my eyes like I used to. They used to be so bad that even though I liked contacts, I would wear a lot of makeup to cover that. That was about all I did, was try to cover up my raccoon eyes. But now I don't wear makeup at all. I didn't wear a lot of makeup before, but now I really don't use any makeup because I don't know what's in it. So I use my tallow balm because I make it myself. I know exactly what ingredients are in it. And there are 3. It's tallow, which is rendered beef fat, and coconut oil, and a little bit of castor oil. And that's it. I don't measure anything. I just kind of use a lot of tallow, a bit of coconut oil, and a drizzle of castor oil. So take that as you will for a recipe, or you can watch my video and you'll see how I do that, because I have done a couple of videos on my tallow balm, but that's the only thing I use on my skin. I may use a fragrance here and there, but I tend to even stay away from those. Although I would love to learn how to do that myself. That would be kind of cool. Then I would, again, know exactly what was in it. So you might ask, was it hard to do? Was it hard to make these changes? And no, it really isn't. The hard part comes in with temptation, when you have those remembrances of how things taste, because we all remember exactly how certain things taste. We have those taste memories, and those are really hard. And Although I will tell you that if you give into those, you will find out that they don't taste anything like you remember. You're better off with your memories, because especially some of them, they've totally changed the recipe too. You know, like those Halloween candies that came in the black and orange wrappers, the peanut butter things. Those were my favorite. I loved those. They changed the recipe a couple of years back. I haven't touched them since. They're not the same. It's no. And I found that with a lot of things, now that I'm eating, you know, a complete animal-based, you know, diet, I don't have those cravings. What do I have cravings for? Meat. Yeah, that's why I make my jerky. My jerky has literally come in handy for everything. If I have a craving, I can go grab some jerky and I'm getting protein, which I know I need as much, you know, I need to get about 120 grams of protein a day. And that's a lot of protein. That's a lot of meat. So anywhere I can get it from. And I mean, I've got my recipe down where it's like absolutely perfect now. I don't even measure anything. I just eyeball it. I make it almost every day because I like it chewy instead of, you know, cardboard, you know, dried out. Bleh. So make it myself. It doesn't last that as long, but it doesn't last as long, A, because it goes bad in 3 days, and well, I eat it before it goes bad. So, but if I make one big batch for the whole week, you know, if I make it on Monday, by Friday, it's no good. So make it in smaller batches, and I can eat this batch by the time this one is ready, because I do that. That's exactly how it happens. I go through one big eye of round roast per week, and it's about $35 for, you know, a 3.5 pound roast, and I cut it up into 6 pieces. And I put them in individual baggies and back in the freezer. And then I pull one out every day and get it sliced up and ready to go for the next day. In fact, I've got one on the counter right now. It's not hard, but it's not easy. It's simple, but it's not as easy, because you do have those, you know, those memories, those taste memories of things. But it can be done, absolutely. And now for the big reveal. I shall put on this here a bikini so you can see what some of the loose skin looks like. You may have seen a little bit in some of my other videos, but I'm going to actually show you, because it's part of the process. Hopefully, you know, in next year we can do another video and I can show you that it looks a lot better than it does today, which is the goal. And that is why I do videos like this, so that I can show progress. So someone who comes to my channel and looks at one of my older videos and then looks at one of my newer videos can see that there is a difference, that there is change that is happening. And that is what I can't wait for, for next year, you know, Christmas. All right, I'm going to go put this on and I'll be right back. Okay. So here is, it is cute, isn't it? But we're not here to talk about the bathing suit. We're here to talk about, no, I'm not going to say that. I just thought better of that before I said something that, yeah, that probably wouldn't be appropriate to say on YouTube. So we're going to forget that. But, you know, I mean, yes, these hide a little bit because, I mean, I've got that loose skin there. You can see here on my legs, it is not, it sucks a little bit because wearing my short little skirts makes this part of my legs visible, and I really don't like that. And as I've said before, I have no issues at all with my back. I love how my back is looking. I just have this to work on. But when you go from 200 pounds to 114 pounds, there's a big difference there. So there's a lot of fat missing. So all my skin is, you know, deflated now instead of stretched out to, you know, hell and back. But yeah, that's what my loose skin looks like. And that's what I deal with. You know, I've got this here. This is all just, you know, bits of loose skin now. It's kind of odd to feel it because, you know, I don't know, it just feels kind of interesting. We'll just put it that way. So yes, here we are. All that weight gone. This is the, you know, this is where I'm at right now. You know, I only hit my goal like a month ago, which was 120 pounds. And my body just, I guess my set weight is around 115 because I kind of fluctuate between 114 and 116 right now. That's just the way it goes. So I'm pretty sure that's about where I'm supposed to be at. I'm cool. I just have to, you know, really work at toning and sculpting and making my body look like what I want it to look like. So, which is going to take a lot of work, and I'm ready for it. If you have made it this far in the video, give yourself a round of applause. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Mwah. Toodles.